Give me my robe. Put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. Now no more. The juice of Egypt's grape shall moist this lip. Yare, good Iris. Quick, methinks I hear. This was the final say of the last pharaoh of Egypt, a woman whose beauty and intellect captivated the most influential men of her era. Egypt flourished as a center of culture and trade, striving to maintain its independence in a rapidly shifting world. But in the end, Egypt fell to Rome, bringing an era of greatness to its tragic conclusion. But why did this happen? What were the choices she made that shaped her destiny? This is the story of Cleopatra. Cleopatra VII was born in 69 BC in Alexandria, Egypt. She was the daughter of Ptolemy XII, a king of the Ptolemaic dynasty. From a young age, Cleopatra was educated in various subjects, including mathematics, philosophy, and languages. She was known to speak several languages fluently. This enabled her to chart a path through the complex political framework of her time. When her father died in 51 BC, Cleopatra ascended to the throne at just 18 years old, co-ruling with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. However, their relationship quickly soured, leading to a power struggle. Cleopatra was resolute in her aim to preserve her rule and strengthen her empire. To secure her power, Cleopatra sought the support of powerful allies. She famously formed a relationship with Julius Caesar, the Roman general and statesman. Their alliance not only solidified her position as queen, but also brought Egypt into the Roman sphere of influence. Together, they had a son, Caesarion, whom Cleopatra hoped would one day rule both Egypt and Rome. Cleopatra's relationship with Julius Caesar was a pivotal moment in her life. She wanted an alliance to fight against her brother, so she sought the support of Caesar, who was in Alexandria, pursuing his political interests. Their first meeting was dramatic. Cleopatra famously had herself delivered to Caesar wrapped in a carpet, a bold move that showcased her cunning and determination. This encounter marked the beginning of a powerful alliance. Caesar, at the age of 52, was captivated by Cleopatra's 22-year-old intelligence, charm, and ambition, and he recognized her potential as a key ally in the region. However, their alliance was not without challenges. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, after only 4 years from their meeting, left Cleopatra vulnerable, as she had relied heavily on his support. Despite this, she remained determined to maintain her power and influence in the wake of his death. Before we go any further, what did Cleopatra gain from Caesar? Let's go back to 48 BC, when they became an alliance, and find out. Their first victory came with the Alexandrian War. Caesar, an experienced general, joined forces with Cleopatra to defeat her brother's armies. First was the siege of Alexandria. They managed to hold out for 6 months. After the reinforcements from Mithridates arrived, the two armies faced each other in the Battle of the Nile. After a hard-fought campaign, they emerged victorious, and Ptolemy XIII met his end in the Nile in 47 BC at the age of 14. Cleopatra was restored to the throne, now ruling Egypt alongside her younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, under Caesar's protection. With her position secured, Cleopatra's relationship with Caesar deepened. She became his lover, and their union produced a son in 47 BCE. She named him Ptolemy XV, later known as Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. For Cleopatra, Caesarion was more than just her child. He represented the potential union of East and West, the blending of Egyptian and Roman power. Although Caesar never publicly acknowledged Caesarion as his heir, Cleopatra believed their son embodied the future of both their dynasties. In 46 BCE, Cleopatra traveled to Rome, an act that caused a sensation. She arrived with all the grandeur of a queen, dazzling the Roman elite with her regal presence and exotic allure. Caesar hosted her in his villa, presenting her as both an ally and a symbol of his far-reaching vision for Rome's future. Cleopatra's visit underscored the importance of their alliance, but it also drew criticism. Many Romans were uneasy with Caesar's close ties to a foreign queen, viewing her as an outsider who threatened their traditional values. However, their story was tragically cut short. On the Ides of March in 44 BCE, Caesar was assassinated by conspirators in the Senate. His death sent shockwaves through Rome and beyond. When Cleopatra received word of his demise, she mourned not only her lover, but also her most powerful ally. She returned to Egypt with Caesarion, resolved to protect her kingdom and ensure her son's future, even as the political landscape around her shifted dramatically. What is going to be for Cleopatra after she lost everything now? While she was drowning in her sorrows, Mark Antony appeared before her, one of Caesar's trusted generals and a key player in Roman politics. He sought to consolidate power and avenge Caesar's assassination. He traveled to meet Cleopatra in 41 BC. Their meeting marked the beginning of a powerful alliance, as Cleopatra saw in Antony a chance to regain her influence in the Roman world. Cleopatra and Mark Antony's relationship quickly evolved into a significant political alliance. Cleopatra provided Antony with the resources he needed for his military campaigns, while he recognized her as a vital ally in his quest for power. Their union produced 3 children: Alexander Helios, Ptolemy Philadelphus, and Cleopatra Selene, further intertwining their legacies. Cleopatra's ambition was to establish a dynasty that could rival Rome, and she envisioned her children as future rulers of both Egypt and Rome. This alliance, however, was not without its challenges, as it drew the ire of Antony's political rivals, particularly Octavian. In 36 BC, Antony embarked on a military campaign against Parthia, one of Rome's fiercest enemies. Cleopatra supported him by providing troops, supplies, and financial backing. Though the campaign ended in a retreat, Cleopatra's unwavering support showcased their solidarity. It was a testament to her strategic vision and her ability to stand beside Antony as an equal partner in his endeavors. In 34 BC, Antony celebrated the Donations of Alexandria, a grand ceremony where he and Cleopatra proclaimed their children rulers of various territories across the Roman world. Cleopatra was declared Queen of Kings, and Caesarion, her son with Julius Caesar, was named King of Kings. The spectacle cemented their vision of a united Roman-Egyptian empire, but it also enraged Octavian, Antony's rival in Rome, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation. Their ambitions soon drew the ire of Rome. In 32 BCE, Octavian declared war on Cleopatra, framing it as a battle to save Rome from foreign influence. Antony stood by Cleopatra, choosing her and their shared vision over his Roman ties. Together, they rallied their forces and prepared for the fight of their lives, fully aware of the stakes. The Battle of Actium was a defining moment in Cleopatra's life. Fought on September 2nd, 31 BCE, it was the decisive clash between Octavian and the combined forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Stationed at Actium in western Greece, Antony and Cleopatra commanded a massive fleet of over 500 ships, while Octavian, with his smaller fleet of only 250 ships but a more agile fleet led by Admiral Agrippa. The battle began with fierce naval combat, but Cleopatra, sensing defeat for her fleet, abruptly retreated with her ships. Antony, torn between the battle and his loyalty to Cleopatra, followed her, abandoning his forces. Demoralized and leaderless, Antony's fleet was destroyed or captured, leading to a crushing defeat. In the aftermath of their defeat at Actium, Cleopatra and Mark Antony faced insurmountable odds. As Octavian's forces advanced into Egypt, the couple's situation grew increasingly desperate. Despite their efforts to rally support and mount a defense, it became clear that their reign was coming to an end. Octavian's forces besieged Alexandria. In a final act of defiance and love, both Cleopatra and Antony chose to take their own lives in 30 BC. Children of Cleopatra from Antony were taken to Rome by Octavian and paraded as spoils of war. Alexander Helios and his siblings were later sent to live with Octavian's sister Octavia, who had been Antony's wife before he abandoned her for Cleopatra. Octavian lured Caesarion back to Egypt under the pretense of negotiations or forgiveness. Once Caesarion returned, Octavian ordered his execution. Cleopatra famously aspired to be remembered as a powerful queen, and her tragic end solidified her legacy as a figure of both beauty and tragedy. Their deaths marked the conclusion of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Roman rule in Egypt, writing a new chapter that forever changed the story of history.